Localized stand names were a mistake. I know that they needed to be changed in order to avoid copyright issues, but there are some things that need to be addressed for the lack of a better term. Unbeknownst to the person or people behind these names, the changes they would make would have backlash to what would otherwise be a minute problem. The first issue I'd like to discuss is stand names that do not properly translate over from their original names. I'll give you examples, don't worry, don't freak out, sit tight. One great example of this, even though it may seem like a nitpick, is Kiss. Kiss's localized stand name is Smack. I have no idea how someone or multiple people could think this was the appropriate option for the stand's name. They can cause the same outcome, but what makes them different is the action intent that takes place to reach that conclusion. A solution to this issue would be to name it SMOOCH. It's a synonym of the original word, and it's exactly one syllable to match the original. I'm assuming they must have mistaken a thesaurus for a dinosaur, so they didn't have enough time to examine the proper synonyms for each name. There could have been other issues involving copyright of certain words that were synonyms of Kiss, so I'll leave that in there as a possibility to all other stand names as well. However, there are some other examples of localized stand names that can work around this issue. Shining Diamond, for example, uses the word shining as a reference to what the original stand name comes from. Shine On You Crazy Diamond by Pink Floyd. Even though shining isn't a synonym, nor does it relate to the word crazy, it still works because of the reference the original is making. You could also replace the word crazy with insane, berserk, hectic, wacky, rowdy, or untamed to match the syllable format. Of course, not all of these choices are equal to one another. You're probably wondering why I'm stressing the importance of syllables for localized stand names. This was another issue that appears when dealing with localization in general. When they were creating these names, I'm assuming they didn't think there was going to be an animation or adaptation released at all, or in the West whatsoever. The problem arises when voice actors have to match the lip flaps when the Japanese voice actors say the names in their original form, while the English voice actors say the localized names. One example of this is the stand by the name of Limp Bizkit. The notorious localized name is Flaccid Pancake. Based upon the requirements or corrections said previously, this does one of the two requirements, which is having synonyms or references related to the original name. Where it diverges from the others is the amount of syllables present in the name. Flaccid is 2 syllables, while Limp is only 1. Obviously, you could say flaccid quickly, but that doesn't solve the overall problem. It's only a temporary solution. A possible solution to this epidemic is to either find a synonym for limp or for biscuit in this case. Limp can be changed to soft, lank, lax, or slack. Biscuit can stay as pancake or to be changed to basically any bread or yeast product that has 2 syllables with it. I will leave it up to you if you think any of these choices are better, because it all appears as if we'll be choosing between the lesser of all evils here. Biscuit is a rare exception as well, since all that possibly needs to be changed is the spelling to the original word. Then you would only have to replace limp if it's still a copyright issue. I don't think I need to list all the stand names to prove my point, but here's a small list of other localized stand names that match both requirements, match only one, or none at all. Zipperman, Lil Bomber, which could have been changed to Small Bomber to match lip flaps for the English release. Moody Jazz, Pale Snake, Cry Cry Dolls, Made in Heaven, which you'd think would be clever until you realize that it doesn't match the original 2 words in terms of synonymic standards. Highway to Death and Frightening Monsters. Keep in mind that some of these names were localized for All-Star Battle and Eyes of Heaven, so I'm not sure these will be the same names used in the official release of Stone Ocean and Steel Ball Run if they do get a release, and obviously eventually JoJo's that comes afterwards. There are also some names that haven't been localized yet, so you can have fun making some of your own. So, since that entire spiel is over, enjoy yourself for the rest of the day, and remember, it's all fun and games until you turn into an invisible zombie.